I don't know if you saw the news of Joy Reid on MSNBC, but it's been everywhere for the past 24 hours. Joy Reid was interviewing the co-founder for Moms for Liberty, Tiffany Justice. Have you guys ever heard of Tiffany Justice?
I've heard Moms for Liberty, yes, for sure.
Moms for Liberty and Tiffany Justice, they're trying to pull a lot of this perverted pornographic content out of schools, so they're vilified for it. They're book banners. What they say when you don't want to show porn to kids.
It's a very interesting argument. These were some of the headlines. So the program happened, what was this, Monday night that the program happened? And, you know, Joy Reid's program, not very successful. So I kind of, I'm trying to understand the thought process behind taking an argument in which you defend very pornographic books. They're like Seamus.
Very much so. It's like weird non-binary fetish porn.
Yeah, I have an excerpt of it, and we'll get to what the kids are reading. But it's very odd, the whole argument between Tiffany Justice. I mean, she was trying to explain why the book should not be in these schools, and the entire time Joy Reid was trying to discredit her by proving that she didn't know the name of the author.
Oh my God.
That was the whole argument. It wasn't whether or not the book was inappropriate.
Do you know who made that?
Yes.
Checkmate.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Yeah. It's like some creep in an alleyway showing porn to a kid, and you're like, you need to go to jail. It's like, you don't even know who made this. You don't even know my name.
Yes.
You have no idea who I am.
The book is called All Boys Aren't Blue. It's by George M. Johnson, an LGBTQIA+.
Jesus.
You know the name, so you can criticize it. LGBTQIA plus Q.
You know, E is one ecosexual, so don't get too close to that plant right there.
Yeah, there are less letters.
It's like it is a friend. It's a nice little plant.
That's right.
No deeper than that. We are matching today. But
yeah, you guys are. Pretty color.
Don't freak the ficus.
First headline that came out, this is from the Daily Mail. Absurd moment. MSNBC's Joy Reid rips into Moms for Liberty founder for seeking to ban school book that features underage kids discussing blowjobs and strap-on dildos.
It's ridiculous. You know what's also funny, too, is that when she calls her out on this, she's like, doesn't want to hear the word dildos or blowjobs.
That's right.
But keep it in the book. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's a great point. Next headline, Megyn Kelly blasts idiot Joy Reid after MSNBC anchor grilled Moms for Liberty co-founder. This is from the Post. Fox News, MSNBC's Joy Reid and Moms for Liberty co-founder spar over movement, pulling controversial books from school. Real Clear Politics covered it as well. So did The Hill, and so did Mediaite. I mean, everybody, it was on, every time I opened up my Twitter feed, I'd see the argument of these two arguing. So here's a clip of the show. By the way, this is from this week's episode of The Readout. It's on MSNBC. It airs in the same time slot as Jesse Waters' Prime Time. Who do you think wins that ratings matchup, fellas? The Readout or Jesse Waters' Prime Time?
Jesse Waters times 10.
Times 2.
Okay.
147,000 people watched The Readout on Monday night. It ranks 20th on cable's news. I didn't even know that there were 20 shows on cable news, and she was ranked number 20 among adults 25 to 54. Jesse Waters.
That's bad, right?
Well, Jesse Waters doubled that audience, 364,000. He's ranking third on cable news among adults 25 to 54.
Well,
Kelly, we can skip the rest of the headlines. These are just oh, no, I'm sorry. Let's go back a little bit. There you go. We'll play a segment of the video first, and then we'll get to these. Can you go to the video? Perfect.
Why is it your right or a Moms for Liberty activist's right to say that a parent who wants their child to have access to this book, which gives a personal experience of this author, why doesn't a liberal parent, for instance, or a parent of an LGBTQ kid, why don't they have a right for their child to just have access to this book? Why is it your right to say they can't?
Like, she specifically says kids and children. And I think that's important for the argument so that you understand that the people that she's fighting for this book to be read by are children and not teens.
It's very important for them. It's very important for them, for children, to be exposed to this pornographic content.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, you don't have to look hard to find the clip because it's everywhere on the internet.
But let me ask you a question. You know who else is pushing this too? Whoopi, Oprah, Joy Reid. Are we starting to notice a trend here? I'm not talking because they're older black women, but what's the agenda? Why are we pushing this?
It's
why
a disease.
is pedophilia being so rampant amongst younger kids? And why are these people pushing it?
Yeah,
no, so
there are a lot of reasons. I got a whole presentation on that today in a little bit, but I think the reality is before we even go and do the digging on the history of all of this, they work in Hollywood.
Right.
And Hollywood is essentially a child pedophile ring masquerading as an entertainment industry as a front. And can you imagine a more perfect front to exist for human trafficking.
Totally.
Attractive people who have loose family connections and addictions from all around the world funnel into this one area that we call Hollywood so they can make it big. And these are insecure people who are going to do basically whatever you tell them to get big and who are going to keep secrets. And as a cherry on top, it is well known that films routinely lose millions and millions of dollars, so you can make a lot of cash disappear too, and you can certainly make people disappear because they had a drug addiction, they were a troubled person, they overdosed. It's a very open secret that that industry essentially exists for trafficking, and the whole film industry on top of it. I'm not saying there aren't some people in it who are genuinely interested in making films. That's obviously why people go there, but they're very easily taken advantage of, and they're very clearly willing to keep their mouths shut.
Well, those kids are always emancipating from their parents, and Hollywood is the kind of place where it's interesting, the ones that can't even make children want to help yours figure out how to live their life. But it's a great jujitsu move what they're doing when they blame the right for banning books. We're not banning books, we're banning gay comics for kids. The left is actually banning books. They don't like Dr. Seuss because the drawings are racist. They don't like the words used in Mark Twain. These are classics. You want to know who's banning the classics? It's the left. But they've totally got the media to make you think it's the right.
Well, it's phase 2 of the depopulation thing, too, because, you know, they already got the part where they make people, like 20% of the population gay now, but now, all right, for the people who haven't gotten to that place, now you're trying to indoctrinate their kids by, like, infiltrating the school system and just deciding what books they have on their shelves. So, you know, it's a way to expand past, like, the people they couldn't grab into their LGBTQ circle.
Also, there was also a thing that came out that said 1 in 5 people in their family, 1 in 5 whatever in their family is now trans.
Right.
Which has never happened in the history of our population.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that the argument about this particular book is that even the book publisher. Could we go to the book publisher first, Kelly, and then we'll go to that graphic. This is the book, All Boys Aren't Blue. And the book publisher, now can you go to the zoomed-in version of this? It shows that this book is recommended for children 14 years to 18 years. Oh, so wow. Even the book publisher, Macmillan, who put the book out, doesn't want this book read by children under the age of 14. Yet why is MSNBC fighting? Why is Joy Reid on there arguing that Republicans and the right wing and QAnon and all these crazy things that they label you when you're just going by common sense? This is the rules of the book publisher. Would I take my 4-year-old to an R-rated movie? No. You know why? It's R-rated. It's rated R by the Motion Picture Association of America, right? Yeah, so they set that standard, and I go, you know what? Hey, they tell me that that book's rated R or the movie's rated R. I don't think it's a good thing for my 4-year-old to go see.
It's even worse. Well, it's even worse than that because it's not just about taking your kid to see an R-rated movie. It's about the teacher at your child's school showing them an R-rated movie and then telling you you don't get a say-so in whether your child gets removed from that class or whether or not the school should be showing that material.
And that's the problem with the schools being run by the federal government and unions. You know, that's like that's something that should be in the hands of the private market, because then you can actually hold these people accountable for what they do and like the shitty product that they give you with their kids' education.
Well, there's evil forces at play, because when you go to a bookstore or a school library, they have that featured book section, and when you walk in, it's like girls rule, boys drool, how to be more gay on your free time, like all these books.
More gay in your free time.
And I'm like, but this is like
I don't have time to be gay. You know? That's why I can't tell you, because I'm a busy guy. But if I had a book that could show me how to use my free time more gaily.
Yes.
Where I'm screwing up on my budget. How do I get more gay in my budget?
Like 10 years ago, that would have been a comedy skit, like to walk into the school library and see what you just described.
Right.
Oh, well, how about you hear some of it? I put some lube on, and he got on his knees, and I began to slide him into me from behind.
Wait a minute.
I pulled out of him and kissed him while he masturbated, and that's not even as graphic as it gets. This was my ass, and I was struggling to imagine someone inside of me. These are excerpts from the book, and yet the idea that appropriate for children.
And it's not appropriate for anybody. I'm a real old-fashioned guy. I don't even think you should be able to publish stuff like that. Come after me, I don't care. But the idea that you would publish something like that and even recommend that anyone under the age of 18 look at it. Right. The idea that like 14-year-olds or 15-year-olds and 16-years should be able to look at that is hideous.
But I would say let them publish it, but let the free market decide. You know, like
I disagree. I would 100%. If a state wanted to say you are not publishing porn in our state, I'm 100%.
But think about like where that goes though. That creates that example for like the other side too. So that's how you go down that bad road. But if the free market's the one deciding it, then most people are going to be against that. But if you have like the educators being the ones who decided, then that's where it's wrong. You know, so it's like an outside force involved rather than the free market.
But I hear what you're saying, but the reason I disagree is because porn is so fundamentally corrosive to a culture that you're going to end up destroying all of your social boundaries and the taboos surrounding sexual behavior to the point where you're actually not going to be able to have a functioning society anymore. And we see that. Like, these people who become perverts, they're never okay keeping it to themselves. They always want to spread it out to everyone. And we've been sold this myth. I think it's true.
I'm a pervert. I don't go around sharing it with everybody.
You will. What we've been told, we've been sold this myth over the past several decades that the threshold that separates a bedroom door from the outside world is this magical portal that prevents any of the attitudes or behaviors or proclivities that develop in the bedroom from ever affecting the outside world, and it's just nonsense. Our understanding of sexuality, including the understanding of sexuality we develop from our actions and our proclivities, affects the way we behave in an outside world, or in the outside world.
But when you start banning literature and you're starting to, I mean, there could be the argument made, look, I'm a guy that likes porn. I'll be honest with you. I consume it, I watch it. If we're all going to sit here and act like we've never seen it or indulged, I think we'd all be kind of full of shit, right, Brady? But I think I don't disagree that there should be a way to limit what people have access to, specifically when it comes to children. I'm not like, if an adult wants to go to an adult video store, who I don't even know if they still have those, probably in perverted cities like New York. I have no problem with somebody going, and if it's above age, it doesn't involve animals or kids, and somebody wants to go indulge in that. They're adults. We live in America. I'm okay with it. And I'm not okay with my child picking up a book in the school library that says I focused on masturbation instead of sex. I have a 14-year-old, and I'm not okay with him reading this. Can I imagine my 4-year-old going into school and reading it? And they're out there arguing for it and then making Moms for Liberty, grouping them in again into this. You guys are crazy on this side for not wanting children to have access to this.
But like you said, as soon as the Moms for Liberty read it in the city council meetings, they get shut down immediately. Like, stop saying these words.
Right.
Only the kids can read them.
Stop putting them in front of kids. It's ridiculous.
And I'll just say, like, obviously we can agree, disagree on whether porn should be banned overall or whether everyone's looking at it and all that. But what we certainly all agree on here is that this stuff should not be shown to children. And that's a very common sense position that virtually everyone agrees with. So the question is, why is this such a massive culture war issue? Why is it that something that only a tiny percentage of the population is comfortable with is being forced onto everybody?
Yeah, 2%.
They're the loudest ones, and they're the ones being supported by the global leaders that we're going to get into later.
Well, that's an important part. It's not just that they're the loudest ones, it's that they have been given the megaphone.
Yeah, by the globalists.
Yep.
Well, and what I've learned, I do stand-up comedy. You guys do stand-up comedy. Tell me if this is any different in your dealings. I've dealt and performed with a lot of homosexual comedians, men and women. And a common theme throughout a majority of the sets that I've seen from gay comics is that, yeah, I'm gay, but I'm not that LGBTQ. That's extreme. I'm fighting for our rights gay. I'm gay, I like guys. Okay. To each his own. I don't, I'm not going to, like, I've worked with very funny gay comedians, very funny female comedians, but they both look at that agenda and go, I don't identify with that. So who are these people listening to?
Well, dude, I hear that all the time. I hear the L's and the B's say that the G's and B's and T's and Q's ruined the whole thing for them because they spent all this time, the last, 50 years fighting for just the right to, like, basic things like, oh, okay, fine, you're gay, you want to marry somebody, whatever, cool. But now all the crazy people jumped in and started, like, saying, oh, yeah, we want to, like, walk around naked and, like, get kids involved in these gay parades and stuff and all the crazy stuff. So the people who are normal gay people hate the crazy extreme stuff. So I think the L's and the B's need to declare war on the G's, B's, and Q's.
Well, and then it was accept.
It's a lot of letters. I'm trying to keep them all straight. No one's ever broken it down like that for me.
P's and Q's.
Yeah.
Well, at first it was just acknowledge we exist, then accept us, then applaud us, and now you got to be one of us. I've had gay people that kind of like go back and forth with me in the comment section going, you're secretly gay. They use it as a slander against me, even though I'm supposed to accept it as not a bad thing at all.
Well, and where does that, is that kind of the typical, like, if you're against this, it's because you have a secret desire for it type thing?
Yes,
that's the argument they always make. Always make it, because it's projection. They can't imagine not having the feelings that they have. And they can't imagine that some people are disgusted by that. They can't imagine some people don't want that stuff forced onto children.
Yeah, exactly. Draw the hard line at the children. There's no reason to bring kids into this. There's like an age group for every walk of life. And I don't know why. It's like the grooming situation. They really want kids to be exposed and accept. And this is a plausible path for you. It's like, I don't want any kind of that kind of relationship with children. Kids can be, just let them be innocent for 14, 15, 16 years.
But let me ask you a question. Where's the threshold? Because like when I was 12, 13, I was looking at scramble porn hard.
Scramble.
You know what I'm saying? So like
Sometimes I still do that. I like the antenna on the TV.
This is great. We have a question
scramble
from the
porn?
younger generation.
What a dick.
Do you really not know what it is?
I've never heard that term before.
Okay.
So listen,
idea.
you would go on like HBO, even though your parents wouldn't pay for it,
Yeah.
right? But you would just go on HBO. You would hear moaning. There was a show called Red Shoe Diaries, and you would sit there and literally try to dissect it with your brain while your buddy's drawing boobs on the computer.
Yeah,
Wow.
See, and it's funny because I'm from the age where I started doing that with wrestling.
Right.
You would watch the pay-per-view wrestling at 12, 13, and then I graduated to Skinamax at night. I went through the whole scramble TV
You were
phase.
like, what is this wrestling shit?